Buenos dias, Gunners Collective TV. Back at it, you already know. Like a torta with the snack habit. Bye, bye. Let's get to the intro. Yeah. Welcome back to Gunners Collective TV. If you haven't yet already, hit that like and subscribe button. Put your notification bell on all so that way you're directing the direction of the dope content that the gun is kicking. And I highly appreciate all the support. Thank you, man. I'm very humbled. All the dead homies, right? Bricc, baby. Was he shanked in federal holding? The word on the curb is he was or he wasn't. I don't know, man. There's a lot of stories out there right now. There's a lot of people that are saying one thing, and then Bricc Baby's old lady is saying another. So 2 days ago, 2 nights ago, in fact, I was scrolling through YouTube, and I came upon a live that was popping, right? And the live was a guy named Big Chuck from Clubhouse, the talking over each other club. And I was tripping out. He was talking about he had connections in the MDC, the federal holding facility that Bricc Baby is housed with, people like Lil Durk and other people. And he said that it was an ongoing investigation that day Bricc Baby had been stabbed 6 times on the tier. Now, I've never been to that federal detention, so I don't know how they run the program. If it's just an open tier, they pop everyone's doors, you come out for chow, you get day rooms, showers, whatever, if you can come in contact with other people. But one thing's for sure, this guy was saying, man, he had connections that worked within the facility, and they were feeding him this information. Now, it wasn't far-fetched because there have been a lot of people that do have connections within the facilities, whether it's family member, brother-in-law, sister, whatever. And of course, information gets leaked. That's how we find out a lot of things about people that are incarcerated. That's just the truth, right? So when he was saying this, I didn't immediately call him a liar, but I questioned it. Before I jumped to conclusions and did a video, I wanted to hear more about it. So, of course, I let Dubs know. I let a couple people know, and I inquired and started doing my homework and my research and kind of trying to figure out if this was true because, with all this, these indictments and all these things happening, it's pretty big news. If this guy got shanked, there could only be 2 reasons why. Either it's a past beef or people have figured out that he's telling in this situation and you got to go. No one respects or appreciates a teller. Okay, that's just not the way it works. So as I'm trying to figure out if Bricc Baby really was shanked on the tier or if this was just blasphemy, right? If this was just bullshit, I got a phone call from a homeboy that actually got a phone call from another homeboy that has intimate relations, and not intimate in a sexual way, but he knows Bricc Baby. He knows Bricc Baby's people. He functions around them. He's been a part of that life for many, many years. He's been in federal prison. And he confirmed that, yes, it did happen. He was hearing from someone that's on the exact same tier that, yes, Bricc Baby did get clapped, right? He did get stabbed 6 times on the tier. Now, so immediately when I heard that, and I take the homeboy's word, the homeboy's pretty credible. He's never bullshitted myself or Dubs or anyone. So we kind of okay, now that we've confirmed it, it's coming from 2 different sources, a source that we know for sure personally. Let's see where we can go with this. But still, I felt the need to do a little bit more investigation. So I felt I was going to drop the video today, mentioned it yesterday in the live, whatever, trying to find out more. I was told that he was taken from the tier to a medical facility within the building, which is what will happen if you get shanked. Obviously, it wasn't life-threatening because there was no one saying that, hey, this dude got it bad, he's almost dead, or anything like that, or they got him. And I was thinking, damn, they hit him 6 times but didn't go for the kill shot. Well, there's only 2 things that can happen. Either motherfuckers didn't know what they were doing, or they were just giving him a chequeada. They were just got a little scraping, a little wake-up call, right? Whatever the case may be, there's going to be a lot of content creators that run with this story, and they're going to talk about Big U was directly involved, or he sent the hit, or this, and that. We're still trying to figure out if this is even true, if he got hit or not. I looked at it this morning, a video where his lady, Bricc Baby's lady, actually came out and said that it's a lie. It's a false narrative, that he was never stabbed. That is just bullshit. It's another story people are putting out there, and that Big Chuck is evil for even insinuating that Bricc Baby got stabbed. Now imagine this, and this is a cool situation. Having been stabbed in the youth authority and prison, I can tell you this, it's a fucked up and unfortunate phone call that your family gets. They're already going through the motions. You just got locked up. You're looking at God knows how much time. Your name's all on social media. People are calling you a snitch. People are saying you're solid. You got people that are rocking with you, people that are rocking against you. You're being seen on clips on No Jumper with a cuete in your waistband. I mean, it's just getting bad. It's getting worse before it gets good, right? And all of a sudden you get a phone call from somebody that's saying, hey, they're putting out on social media, your fucking old man or whoever, your family member got stabbed. Imagine your heart drops immediately. You start calling the facility. And if you know anything about a facility, man, they're not trying to give too much information. They're going to give you the runaround. And when you're really trying to find out if your loved one is in pain, hurt, on the verge of dying, it's hard to get a hold of anyone that's going to give you an actual answer. It's a trip. So putting people through that type of shit, all for a click or a view on social media, that's unfortunate that people have to go that route. But there's a lot of stories that are being made up. I watched a video that Dubs put out. I implore you guys, go to Dubs' channel, watch it. And it was about that guy 600. Officer Lovejoy is what they're calling him, right? I don't know if he's a cop or not, but he has fucking cop tendencies. I'll tell you that. Ain't nothing wrong with it, man. If that's what he is, that's what he is, right? If he ain't, he ain't. But this guy is making up crazy stories back to back to back to back and doing astronomical numbers because people don't want to hear. They've already realized that the shit he's saying is bullshit, right? But they just want to go in there and clown on him and make fun of the fact that he'll say anything. I mean, this guy has talked about Big U has hung himself. This guy's talking about, one day Bricc Baby's a rat. The next day he isn't. Sealed indictments, this, that. I mean, just so many different things. This has turned into a circus. This has turned into an opportunity. There's so many opportunistic people, but this has turned into an opportunity for people to say any damn thing they want. Why? Because guys are incarcerated and can't get to them. So they could say anything about anyone without having to deal with the repercussions. The fact is, none of these guys would say any of this bullshit to Big U's face. And a lot of them won't even say it to on the dead homies. Bricc Baby's face. It's a trip, right? As far as Bricc Baby being stabbed, the homie doubled down. So, I got at Dubs. He made a phone call. Or a text message. He got at a homie, and the homie was like, nah, that shit really did happen. Now, regardless if his lady is saying that, I could see where Bricc Baby's excuse me, I'm sick. He doesn't want his business out there, right? So it could be an old school cover-up where he tells his lady, look, don't tell my business. Do the cover-up. Say that shit's fake. It ain't even that serious. I'm all right. They got me, but you know what I'm saying? It's all good. I don't see her, to be honest with you, covering up to the extent that she's doing, saying, oh, no, it never happened and people are evil and, how dare them. I don't know. But according to the homie, man, it really did go down. He really was stabbed. Now, of course, we're going to find out. We're going to wade through the water. We're going to wade through the bullshit. And we're going to find out if Bricc Baby really was stabbed. But what does it do for anyone? There are so many people with so much hatred in their heart right now. So many people that want to see Bricc Baby, Big U, Loose Cannon, any of these guys that got locked up on this indictment, which I got at a homeboy yesterday, man, and he told me it ain't necessarily an indictment. People are running around talking about indictment. It's something that happens. It's the first step in locking people up, and then they get indictments. But that's getting technical and into the courts. But anyways, we're going to definitely find out if Bricc Baby was stabbed. But there's so much hatred right now. So many people want to see the demise of these guys. For what? How does it impact you? Now, I understand there's a lot of Nipsey Hussle fans, a lot of people that support Nip that didn't even support Nip until he passed, didn't even know who he was until he passed. Motherfuckers go to Marathon Burger to take a picture and they think that they're like connected to Nip somehow, some way. And the cool part about it is these people are willing to see men do life in prison or die or get hurt behind rumors and allegations. See, I come from the old school, man. Rumors and allegations ain't shit. You need to first be convicted of a crime. And even then, there's always going to be some skepticism. if you're claiming one thing and someone else is claiming another. It's just the way the world works, right? Now, of course, there's no justification, period, in the world, for killing someone or hurting someone. You could, other than a weirdo, free Cain Velasquez. That's a different story, but there's really no justification in the gang life for hurting anyone, but that's part of the life. You understand, man, you don't need no justification in that shit. That's the enemy, boobot, go get them. That's part of that life. So all these guys, Nipsey Hussle included, unfortunately, signed up for that life. I seen an interview with his brother Black Sam where he's like, man, Nipsey was getting to the money, but at the same time, he was dealing with the street and gang politics. Yeah, 1 foot in, 1 foot out, basically, right? If you listen to Nipsey, he was all about the 60s. He was all about that Slauson area. He was all about the Crenshaw district. He had a lot of love for his neighborhood. But with that, there's that dark side of the neighborhood. There's that gangbanging element. There's that element of street life. So he lived by the gun and he died by the gun. That's the truth of the matter. So all these people that are like, oh, we got to get Big U, or we got to get Shitty Cuz or Bricc Baby, or all these different guys, man, they're all watching YouTube videos or social media and acting like they know. They don't know what entails the 60s, what it's all about. How long they've been respected in the area that they're from, man. I did time with 60s back in the 90s, early 90s, 91, 92, 93, all that. And they were a pretty respected group, very respected. So, now these days, the 60s that I'm seeing on YouTube, are a little bit different just because there's different characters like Bricc Baby, all the dead homies, Loose Cannon, Sweetie, right? And of course, 600 and these guys. And it seems like everyone's in a collab. On Power, Whack 100, Adam, all these guys are in a collab to see the demise of Big U for whatever reason. Like he did something that affected them. Like he did something that hurt their heart. And a lot of people are using Nipsey Hussle as an excuse because they know it tugs on people's emotions. They can't, no one gives a shit if he was really extorting people and all that. If the people fell for it, that's on them. It's unfortunate, but it is what it is, part of the game. Motherfucker got to hustle. You got to hustle. You can't sit there and say you want to be a part of the street life and you respect the gangsters and the active gang members and all this, and then be mad if a motherfucker's extorting Shaq, right? You just can't do it. You can't play both sides of the physics. You just got to ride however you ride. Yeah, that's part of the game. Some people are going to Debo up on other people. And in Big U's case, he was the real life Debo, allegedly. Now, as far as Bricc Baby being stabbed, let's say he was, right? And that's the word I'm getting. So right now I'm going to stand 10 toes down and say, I don't know what his lady was saying if she was trying to cover up, but I'm going to believe my homeboy. And the homie's saying, hey, he got stizzab. So we'll find it all out if it's the truth or not. But that's what the homie's saying, man. Pictures and more information yet to come is what he's saying, right? But I know this, for people to automatically assume, hey, Big U put a hit on him. Big U's involved. This guy's involved. Look, sometimes you fuck the wrong people over. Let me tell you guys a little story, man, about a homie. So I had a homeboy, and he wanted to be a dope dealer, right? Bad, but didn't know where to begin. Didn't have the money to cop. Didn't have the money to re-up. Didn't know any of those, the slang word. Like he just thought it goes from point A to point B. Give me it and I'll sell it. He was making like a $5 profit, $10 profit. Thought he was balling out, right? Just because it was more the action of drug dealing than it was fucking getting to the money, right? He didn't understand the business, but he had a good mind and an understanding that if he was taught by the right people, he can get to it. Anyways, he started getting laced up by the homie. He started moving a little bit of weight here and there. He ends up hooking up with this chick. She robs him, right? He falls asleep. She gets in his pockets, takes all his dope. So now he owes a couple different people. So now he has to go out like a motherfucker would, go out in the cuts and let me hold something. Come up. And so this white dude, he happens to run into him and he's like, hey, bro, fucking, I got action at this, that. The white dude's like, oh, I need a couple zips of this, right? So his whole mindset was like, fuck that, man. This is my perfect opportunity to snatch up this money and pay off my debt and get back in the game. So he takes old boy's money. Boom. Tells homie, pull up right here to some fucking house. He don't even know who lives there. Goes through their side gate. Hey, I'm going to go in, grab the shit, come right out. The white dude's like, all right, cool, right? He goes in, jumps the fence, gone. How do I know about this? I did some of the same shit back in the day. Scandalous individuals, right? But he does this, gets on, makes it out of there, whatever. He's like, man, I just met that white dude. I don't give a fuck, right? Shit. He didn't know who he was playing with. Years later, He's in county jail, and that same white dude's there. He doesn't remember the white dude. It's been years. He only looked at him in the dark like, fuck it. That dude remembered him, though. Viciously strangled the shit out of him, right? The only reason the homeboy didn't pass is because other homies fucking came to his defense, and a little melee was in Sandy Mush in the county jail, right? A little melee happened in the dorm between North and Whites. But what I'm saying, I say that to say this, sometimes some bullshit that you have in the past catches up to you. So if Bricc Baby was hit, it doesn't necessarily mean it has anything to do with this case. It could have been something or a personal matter that caught up with them later. That's kind of like that dude Alpo, right? Alpo from New York. Remember, he was from the movie Paid in Full, the one Cameron played. You know, I'm saying, the motherfucker that was hitting the Dougie on him. Remember, he was hitting the Dougie. People automatically assume when he was killed that it was in retaliation for telling or whatever he did back in the past, but not necessarily. It had nothing to do with that. It was more recent matter. It had something to do with him and a lady that he was dealing with and her ex-old man, right? So what I'm saying is, I say that to say this: people jump to conclusions and automatically figure, hey, this is why this happened, or this is why that happened, when the fact is, no one truly knows. No one even knows if Bricc Baby really was stabbed, because his lady is saying a different story. Now, it's up to you to decipher and believe what you want to believe. The truth will come out. It always does. But I'm hearing on the inside shit from a homeboy that has a homeboy that's on that tier that Bricc Baby was stabbed 6 times. Now, whether it's true or you don't believe me, that's up to you, man. I could give a fuck less. I'm just telling you what I heard. Okay? Now, I know his old lady came out and said that it was evil and these are all lies. You know what I'm saying? But a chick's going to do whatever the fuck you tell her to do. You give her direction, put her on arrows, she's going to get the candy paint on your shit. That's what I learned a long time ago from an OG homie. He was like, man, don't. You just tell him, get out there and bring mines back. And that's just it. So anyways, I don't know the full details on the situation, if it's truth, if there's some truth to it or not, but I'm hearing 2 conflicted stories. Now, I seen a content creator that put a video out, basically, man, where he's saying, nah, this shit never happened. Then I seen another one that's saying, yes, it's confirmed. I don't know. My thing is the petty people that are out there wishing hatred on Bricc Baby. They're hating on Loose Cannon. They're hating. Look, it's cool to have fun on the dead and clown a little bit. But ultimately, as someone who lived the street life, I don't want to see any of these guys incarcerated. Look, why are people so F Big U? Let's just put it like this. F Big U had anything to do with Nipsey Hussle's murder. I understand people want justice for Nip. There is someone sitting down right now incarcerated. You don't think that dude Shitty Cuz wouldn't have told on Big U? Come on now, man. He had nothing to lose. He's doing life on SNY. He would have told. And even more so than that, that's the game. Whatever beef them dudes had, someone had to go, right? Or I'm just saying allegedly, if that's the way it went down, right? Why is everyone so mad because Nipsey was a rapper? You got dudes that are mad than a motherfucker, never even knew who Nipsey was before he passed. Never even heard a song of his. Oh man, Big U needs to go down for that. Why? Because people make social media videos, AI it, cut it up, and you're believing that shit? Look, I'm not here to justify any man's actions or cover up for anyone, but I believe that everyone is innocent until proven guilty, and they should get their day in court and their day to be judged, right? By a jury of their peers, not judged and executed all on YouTube, all on social media, because some dude has hatred like 600. We all know, man, that motherfucker got a fetish for hating on Big U. So to listen to anything he has to say in direction or in direct direction of Big U is bullshit. You don't believe someone who hates on the next man, because it's going to be all drama and hatred. He can't spit facts. He can't never keep it real. He can't give a motherfucker the benefit of the doubt. It's a whole bunch of grown men making videos about trying to get people locked up, telling fake and fraudulent stories to get someone locked up. Kind of weird ass, hating ass shit are we doing out here nowadays? I know I'm not participating in that. I'm giving you guys direct facts as I know them. The fact is, I don't know what's going on with Big U in this whole case. Hopefully, man, he gets his day in court and justice is served. As far as Bricc Baby, I'm hearing he got stabbed, man. I'm going to stick with that. Whatever his lady says, she said. But the truth is, I don't think, from what I'm hearing from the homie, it had nothing to do with this indictment or this case or Big U or Loose Cannon or none of them cats. It had something to do with something in his past. I could believe it. Anyways, let me know what you think. Thumbs up or thumbs down. Heavy's going to be the head that wears the crown. I'm going to continue to strive, struggle, and strive for what I truly believe in, and that's moving smooth with a purpose and giving a real game to the people, the knowledge you can't get in college. I'm dropping jewels, diamonds. You know, I'm like a diamond when they shine. The gun. Bang, bang.